And we're going to be talking to a Pat Mahlangu who wears many hats, but today he's here as founder of Youth Brand Awards. Pat, good morning. How are you?
Morning, Pat.
Good morning. I'm very well, thanks, and yourself?
Great, thank you. And I know you stumbled upon me and my eyes fell on you at Advertising Week, Ad Week Africa, held in Joburg. You found me in the midst of an anxiety attack, so I do owe you an apology if I may have seemed aloof or disconnected. I was literally just trying to find my bearings and find my gatherings. The crowd was so huge and I had just arrived. So a big hug to you that I owed you on that day. I couldn't really engage with you at the level that I wanted to. But I do know I'm forgiven in your heart because you are really a very kind human being. So Pat, let's get straight into this, right? You're founder of Youth Brand Awards. Before you were founder of Youth Brand Awards, you're founder of a business. Let's talk about Lerato Agency.
Lerato Agency is an agency that I founded in the thick of the pandemic. You know, you guys are speaking about businesses shutting down during the pandemic. And I was crazy enough to start a PR and digital marketing agency right in the thick of the lockdown, right in the thick of a global pandemic. But we've been fortunate enough that in the past, I think now, 2.5 years, we've managed to grow. We were lucky enough to secure good clients that kept us afloat, and we managed to triple our revenues, year on year.
This is awesome,
we've been on the lucky side of the spectrum.
You say you are a PR and what agency? PR and? Digital creative agency. So let's talk about that. What sort of clients are you catering for?
So mainly our primary clients are corporates and some government agencies and departments. However, we do also cater for SMEs that are still on the come up.
Beautiful.
But from a business sense perspective, it works for us to have much more bigger clients with good marketing budgets. Yeah. Because ultimately, the rent incentive is not cheap.
Of course. So let's talk about the Youth Brand Awards that are now in their second year. And I think coming out of the pandemic, it's a great time to do things that not only support entrepreneurs, but also celebrate them. Let's tell us about Youth Brand Awards. Why, where, when, who, etc., etc.
So the Top 16 Youth Brands Awards really were started, with the goal of shining the light on youth excellence. Yeah. Often we hear that the youth is lazy, the youth is apathetic, the youth is entitled. And with these awards, we are saying, no, that's not true. We are actually, young people are actually getting their hands dirty. They are building brands, they're creating employment, and they are contributing to not only the economy of this country, but also the image of South Africa. You know that most of us encounter other countries first through the brands that come out of those countries, before we actually visit the country. So, when, for example, Saul and his friend, Podcast and Chill, go overseas, and do amazing work that side, it's actually a South African export. We're not only exporting clothes, we're exporting culture. Everyone now, if you had you were at Ad Week and they were talking about how Amapiano is so popular outside the border of South Africa. When I was in Nigeria, last year I was expecting to hear hear Afro beats on bang on throughout the time, but it was Amapiano that was rocking, So that's a South African export. When you look at also brands like Tepo, which won the overall top brand last year, as well as the top apparel brand. If you look at the caliber of that brand, it's really a great brand, and it ticks all the boxes, and it's right up there with the most elite global brands. So that's what we're saying with these awards. We're saying, look, we're all about youth excellence. The awards are the gold standard of youth excellence, and we are saying we're celebrating those that are brave enough to start something and keep it going. One of the biggest challenges that most entrepreneurs face, and why most businesses fail within the first 3 years is that sometimes we're great at starting, right? But where we often lack is to keep on with the momentum. And there's this book I read that talks about the plateau effect, whereby we are good at starting, but once we hit the plateau of it, then we start leveling up and we level down and we start declining in terms of our growth because we become so used to just running this business. But with these awards, we say, let's look beyond the plateau. Let's aim for the stars. Let's keep going. We know it's tough. It's not easy running a business. It's not easy to always, pitch your ideas and often be rejected. But you keep on going. So that's what these awards are all about, to recognize youth excellence.
Pat, as a businessman yourself, what have you learned from engaging with these other businesses through your initiative, the Youth Brand Awards, that you also find useful in your very own business?
Good question.
Yeah, the common one, and having engaged with my peers in the entrepreneurship space, often it's not really funding. That's like a big challenge. A lot of us don't want funding, actually. But what you want is access to market, a real opportunity for us to do the work. We don't want handouts. We want to work. We want to produce goods that will go into market and people buy them. We want to come up with services that corporates and other businesses can use to grow their businesses. So I know most people think that funding is a big thing. It's really not. We want access to, in my journey, all the businesses that I've ever started, I started with zero funding. They've always been organically growth, which takes a long time, and that's why I always say that entrepreneurship, brother, is not for the faint-hearted.
Definitely not.
It's for those people that you have to love it. You have to fall in love with rejection. For example, last year we only got 5 sponsors for the Top 16 Youth Brands Awards after having sent over 80 proposals, after having sat in over 50 meetings, and convincing people to buy it, but only 5 bought. If I wasn't passionate enough about this, I would have easily given up.
100%. I always say to myself as an entrepreneur, I must really have a deep, meaningful relationship with pain to keep at this because it can be painful. So in closing, where can businesses or brands enter for the Youth Brand Awards, and what's in the package when you win?
So people can visit our website, www.top16yoba.co.za, top16yoba.co.za. So what we are building here at Dineo, it's more than just an awards show. This is a movement, around creating excitement around proudly South African brands and also ultimately youth-owned businesses. So in terms of what people get, just outside of getting a trophy and a pat on the back, pun intended, they actually join what you call our community of which is called the Circle of Excellence. And what we try to do there, is that we also plug the winners with opportunities in corporates. Like, for example, last year, Brand South Africa came to us and said, look, for the first time, actually, through their brand Nation Brand Forum, they had a youth element to it, and a very strong youth element. There was an entire day that was dedicated to the youth during the Nation Brand Forum, and we were tasked with providing them with a good youth business owners to form part of the panel and share their stories. So what we are also saying is we're calling upon corporates to come on board and really support this initiative and become our partners, because we're sitting with a database of over 500 youth-owned businesses as we speak. Sure. If you're looking for youth-owned businesses, you should be coming to us and we'll help you connect with them.
Absolutely. So you're running a plug-and-play networking system. I love this. Pat, we have run out of time. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us this morning and, putting on the map that, this is the machine that you're running, the engine that you're running, and it's easy to hop on board. Top16yoba.co.za. Thank you, Pat. Have yourself a great day further.